I promised you breaking news. Here it is. Vinny O'Connor, deliver it.
Alexander Isak is officially a Liverpool player. Alexander Isak is Liverpool's new number 9. They've confirmed it officially now. He has signed in a British record transfer of £125 million, and he has signed a 6-year contract with Liverpool. And he's had this to say: "It's been a long journey to get here, but I'm super happy to be a part of this team, this club, and everything it stands for. It's something I'm proud of, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just happy it's done and that I can get back to work. I'm looking forward to seeing my teammates and the fans and getting back out there." He added, "I think I have a lot to give. I think I have a lot to improve. I'm a striker, but I always want to give as much as possible to the team, mainly goals, but much more than that as well. I want to win everything." Yeah, it's as simple as that. So, yes, Liverpool have got one through the door on this deadline day. They had hoped to get Mark Guehi, but perhaps the confirmation of the signing of Alexander Isak just offsets the disappointment at missing out on Mark Guehi. But official confirmation now from Liverpool that British record transfer has gone through, and Alexander Isak is their new number 9.
Thanks, Vinny. Carvey, should we just give Liverpool the title right now?
I think they were favourites before they signed Alexander Isak. They've had a stunning transfer window, even though they've missed out on Mark Guehi. I think it's probably Liverpool's best window since, 1977, when they signed Kenny Dalglish.
I wasn't.
Although
don't know.
I don't think they had transfer windows in those days, but brilliant window. Hats off to Liverpool. They won the league. I'm sure they're going to win the league again this season, considering the business they've done this summer.
Mark, should we be worried, though, about player power?
That's been the story of this summer, it feels like, particularly in the last 48 hours, because the two players that have agitated the most to get the move they desired, Alexander Isak and Yohan Wissa, and both of them have ultimately got their desires and wishes, and they've ended up moving clubs. Mark Guehi, Jürgen Strand-Larsen, players that had the opportunity to move, that have gone about it in the right way, focused on the football, continue to play for their sides, are still at their clubs.
Exactly.
Ultimately, contract is king. And if you have a contract with someone, you will end up staying there. Now, if PIF had turned around to Alexander Isak in that meeting that happened on Monday and said, "You're going nowhere," they hold the power. A legal contract is a legal contract. But what you're certainly seeing is the way that players are using social media, using their powerful voices, their millions of followers globally, to agitate and to say the right things. They're being advised by representatives and agents because they know that the best way to get this move happening is for you to do this and for you to try this and for you to do that. And that's what we've seen. And it's going to be fascinating to see what happens between now and next summer, when hopefully we'll have another blockbuster window and see what kind of power players have. But then you could look at Carlos Baleba, Brighton, Manchester United interest, Brighton very firm, you're going nowhere. And Brighton have always been very firm with the players they sell. You're going nowhere until we say and we get the price. So it just depends on the ownership and the current situation with the player that they have a relationship with and the dynamic of that. And that's going to be key.
We've got to look at the two situations, though, with Isak and Wissa, because depending on who you believe, there were extenuating circumstances with both of them, because both of them came out with statements, lengthy statements, claiming that they had been promised something from their club that they could go. Now, Isak came out first, and there was 12 days of the window to go. Newcastle denied those claims with a public statement of their own. What Wissa did, he came
down to Isak. Keith Downey is there for us. Keith, we've heard Alexander Isak waxing lyrical about becoming a Liverpool player. What's Newcastle's response been?
Yeah, firstly, Mike, Alexander Isak has left Newcastle United and signed for Liverpool. Those are some words I never thought I would actually finally say this summer. We've spoken about it at length, haven't we, for days and weeks and months now. And finally, here we are on deadline day, after the deadline. And that deal, as you rightly say, has been confirmed. Newcastle have put out their own statement, which coincided exactly with the same time that Liverpool did. A 37-word statement, club statement from Newcastle United, 2 sentences, which is incredibly short. Usually you would be thanking players and talking them about their time at the club. But no, short and sweet, and I think sums up exactly how the club as a whole feel about Alexander Isak's conduct, should I say, this summer. The statement says Newcastle United can announce the sale of striker Alexander Isak to Liverpool for a significant British record transfer fee. The Sweden international joined the Magpies from Real Sociedad in 2022 and made 109 appearances in all competitions. And that's it, Mike. Short, sweet, to the point, and as I say, I think reflects, if you read into that, it reflects exactly how...
Deadline day as it happened, Liverpool's seal record Isak deal after Guehi blow. Minotidi land new keeper deadline day has finally arrived. And as always, the drama is in full swing. Clubs across Europe are scrambling to finalize their business. Before the window slams shut, we'll keep you updated with every twist and turn as it unfolds. In England, clubs have until 7 p.m. to get their paperwork done, a deadline that mirrors most of Europe's elite leagues. That means theirs. Still time for last-minute shocks, collapses, and breakthrough agreements. Expect medicals, signatures, and official announcements to roll in as the day develops. The biggest headline so far has undoubtedly been Alexander Isak's stunning switch to Liverpool. The Sweden striker has completed a British record £125 million move from Newcastle United, signing a 6-year deal that runs until 2031. He has been handed the iconic number 9 shirt, and many already believe his arrival transforms an already fearsome Liverpool attack into something even more devastating. But Isak's arrival has also triggered an exit. Harvey Elliott has left Anfield, joining Aston Villa in a deal that was directly dependent on Liverpool finalizing the Swede's transfer. The 21-year-old midfielder moves initially on a season-long loan, though Villa have agreed to a conditional obligation to buy for £35 million. The clause will activate if certain appearance targets are met. Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes pushed for closer to £40 million, but ultimately settled. While smartly negotiating both a buyback option and a selling clause, renowned journalist Paul Joyce confirmed the details, stating, Liverpool have included buyback and sell-on clauses in Harvey Elliott's £35 million move to Aston Villa. Elsewhere, Liverpool were also busy at the defensive end. A deal worth £35 million had been agreed with Crystal Palace for England international Mark Guehi, and the defender was even cleared to undergo a medical in London. Guehi passed his tests, but Palace suddenly froze the transfer when their attempt to sign Igor from Brighton collapsed. Palace were insistent they needed 2 new centre-backs before allowing Guehi to leave. While they did secure JD Canvit from Toulouse, Igor's late decision to pursue a move to West Ham left them short. Liverpool submitted a deal sheet to extend negotiations beyond the deadline, but Palace refused to proceed. As things stand, Guehi remains at Selhurst Park, though expectations are that Liverpool will revisit the deal in January, or swoop for him when his contract expires at the end of the season. Had Guehi joined, Liverpool were prepared to sanction Joe Gomez's departure to AC Milan. The Serie A club tabled a £13 million bid for the versatile defender, who was open to the switch. However, Milan themselves abandoned the pursuit around midday on Monday, citing insufficient time to complete a thorough medical before the deadline. In the end, Gomez stays put and will continue to act as Liverpool's main cover option for Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate, with young Giovanni Leone also waiting in the wings. So while Isak's blockbuster move dominated the headlines, Liverpool's deadline day ended with a mix of triumph and frustration. A world-class striker secured, but defensive reinforcements just slipping through their grasp